Hello everybody, welcome back to Pokemon Blue, Hard Mode, Nuzlocke Run, whatever you want to call it. So, time is a flat circle, and now that it's been a week or so and I have the opportunity to make a recording uninterrupted, over that time I overcame the illness that made me sound like Chucky Finster in all my first videos, but now I'm congested again. So here we are on Route 3, we just got the first badge. And as you can see, if we try to sneak around all these trainers, we can't quite do it. So we gotta push through a gauntlet here. But that's okay, because our party's a little on the undertrained side, and we want to really get them going. Particularly, well, kind of, Legos, who is close to evolution. "You looked at me, didn't you?" says this trainer. Apparently that was very offensive. So this is a last. The trainers come in different classes. You'll notice that the trainers we fought before were in the forest were called bug catchers, and then there was a junior trainer male in the gym. So the trainer class gives you an idea of what kind of Pokemon they're going to face, like bug catchers use bugs. And then all the different trainers that are basically kids in the early game just use, like, you know, crap. You can kind of tell what a trainer is going to be by its sprite on the overworld. Now here's a bad idea. I'm risking death to make this attack. Just kidding. I'm risking death to make this one. But sometimes you get tricked. Alright, do you think Vehement can pull this out? Of course he can. He's very trustworthy. So there's some more experience for Legos, and look at that, we're already at level 9. Still haven't breached single digit attack. Or breached double digit. We're still in the single digits is what I'm trying to say. And Pidgey is actually a surprisingly tough early opponent because of Stab, Gust, and Sand Attack. Let's see, what do we want to have happen here? Let's throw our own Pidgey at it. So we'll have a little duel here. 25%, that's pretty rough. So this Pidgey is cheesing us, with the same strategy that we used on it. And ow, that is really not good. So we might actually have to call in some bigger guns here. A problem that I often found as a kid when playing RPGs is that if I did go a week or so without playing them, I forgot what I was doing with my file. Like, you really lose a sense of what is going on as far as what your objectives were, what your party is capable of, and that kind of thing. This is very risky and I shouldn't have done it. But I mean, I don't know. We'll spread the experience around, I guess. Maybe we should be cheeky and have Legos finish it off. Alright. So, as you can tell by the music getting a little more desolate on Route 3, we're on our own, really. We gotta fight through a bunch of trainers just to make it to the dungeon. Forget about being in the dungeon. And what's the dungeon, you ask? Well, remember when we met that Jigglypuff and we talked to some people in town? There's an interesting tunnel up ahead called... We're gonna go under a mountain called Mount Moon. We're not going to the top of the mountain, let me clarify. Like, that would be really cool, but we're going under the mountain. And it's gonna be dark, although not as dark as can be. And it's gonna be very spooky, scary, and challenging. So we want to make sure we're well prepared. And a death by inches, perhaps? Yes, I think so. Here, we'll cheese him with String Shot. Alright, everybody kind of got in on the fun there. Alright, we're going to see an evolution in this episode. 225 experience points to level 10. So, let me tell you guys about Legos, because full disclosure, even after Legos evolves, she's not going to be super powerful or anything, and is hardly going to be a long-term contributor. She doesn't learn any attacks that match her type. At least the ones that do damage anyway. And she learns a couple attacks that are useful, but not like so useful that we really need her around. However, I want you guys to experience the thrill of having a fully evolved Pokemon in the relatively early game, which felt like the holy grail when you did it as a kid, and then you were like, wait a minute, this Pokemon isn't actually that useful. Alright, so we're going to keep Legos out in front, and here's something fun. Hey, I met you in Viridian Forest, so they're pretending that this kid is the same as one of the bug catchers from Viridian Forest. So I guess this is technically your rematch. Not really, though. Okay, so here we see the game being merciful to us, because a level 7 Caterpie should be a Metapod, and a level 10 Caterpie, well, for one it should be a Metapod, but by level 10 it should actually be, you know, a spoiler alert. And often in-game you will find that the trainers do not evolve their Pokemon on time. If they did, the game would be somewhat harder. Although we would get more experience for being successful. Alright, we'll throw Vehement in here because we've got a few priorities. We want to get Elegans to level 16 because something great will happen. We want to get Lillicina to level 16 because something great will happen. We want to get Vehement to level 13 because something good but also really awesome will happen. And Homer's okay for now, but level 18 is what we're looking for. But that's a ways out and won't even come close to happening in this video. Okay, so a weird little pro-anxiety thing I do that dates back to being a kid is like, well, I want to save my quick attacks even though there's no way I'm going to run out. So I'll just use a weaker attack like Tackle, even though it can potentially miss. And because I go first with quick attack anyway, why wouldn't I just use it? But you don't really have to be that parsimonious. Is that the word I'm looking for? Okay, so here we have a Weedle, and again, a level 7 Weedle should be a Kakuna, and a level 10 Kakuna should be a blah 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 blah. So we're going to do something risky here, and we're going to throw in Legos, and if you remember, Bug is weak to poison. And that was very cheeky on our part, because Weedle didn't go for it. The poison sting there. Okay, now we're going to throw in, now remember, Lillicina is poison type, which means she takes half damage from poison type attacks and cannot get poisoned herself. Not that it's even trying. So you may be wondering, hey, Wetleaf, Elegans is poison type too. Why don't you throw her in there? Well, the reason is because Elegans, while she is immune to poison, is also part grass. And so the type effectiveness that's used to calculate damage is multiplicative. So it gets multiplied by 0.5, i.e. cut in half, for poison on poison, but then it's also poison on grass, which would double it again, and we're back to neutral damage. So Lillicina is still better at tanking these poison attacks. Another really weird thing is that in this game, Red, Blue, and Yellow, in this generation only, Bug and Poison are super effective against each other. Which, I mean, it's a good thing that the Pokemon themselves that represent the type aren't very impressive, because it'd be quite a shootout otherwise. But we're going to run into some situations where, well, for one thing, Bug beating Poison, well, Bug also beats Grass, so that means that if we do run into any Bug attacks, which, by the way, we will, Elegans is going to take quadruple damage from them, and it's a good thing that they're all pretty weak. But it's still going to be a hassle, especially since I'm playing where I don't want to allow anybody to die. Lots of green on the screen right now. So one thing interesting is that in Red, Blue, and Yellow and Gold, Silver, Crystal, they're both like on the Game Boy and everything, and they both have like color palettes. However, in this game, you can see that the sprites of the Pokemon are black, white, and 2 accent colors, and the accent colors are pretty similar to each other. And then in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, they kind of switch it up, and they pick one accent color and then another that's rather different. So, for example, Caterpie's official art and everything depicts its antennae as like reddish orange. But here it's just like white with a little of the light green. So they go for more contrast in the future games. Here, let's do the stingy thing again. Wobamski. There we go. A nice crit to really finish things off. Level 11, not bad. Okay, so I don't want to like run back and heal after every trainer battle, but I'm kind of doing it just to... It's really, like, in the beginning stages of my LPing career, it's really goddamn difficult to talk and play at the same time. And I want to shore myself up against possible areas of negligence that could get me in trouble. For the most part, I'm going to try and keep in a lot of the challenge of the game wherever I can. For example, I'm not going to skip trainers if I can help it, even like the hardest ones. And if you remember, I went into the gym battle pretty underleveled. You know, I could have just like grinded a few levels off camera. Alright, are you ready? This is one of the most famous lines in the game. And it is spoken by this young man. Hi, I like shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear. What an opener, right? So this trainer is of the youngster class, and these kids are like 6 or 7, I guess, because we're like 10 or 11. And you may wonder, what the hell? Like, how come we didn't have any Pokemon since we were 6 or 7? Like, we could have like a level 11 Rattata by now. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Obviously, youngsters are so bad, it doesn't really give them that much of an advantage. But I guess, I don't know. I guess our trainer is special and gets a very special and rare Pokemon. So level 11 Rattata's a real a-hole, though. Ouch! Alright, we are now in the range of death. So we're gonna have our boy, let's have, we really gotta get Vehement going. We'll have a little duel here. Oh, tricky. Okay, so with Rattata's defense lowered... No, Rattata's attack lowered by 1 stage and Vehement's defense lowered by 1 stage, it's basically like nothing happened. So this could be ugly. Ooh, ouch. Yeah, so, okay, this is kind of cool because it's showing how big of a team effort it is to... I really want Pidgey to get this kill. It takes a team effort to take down Pokemon that are higher levels than you, especially if you don't want any of them to die. And too many of these attacks is really, really, really not good. Oh, but it kind of blew it there. Alright, I think the next Pokemon is an Ekans, which is a real pain in the ass. And if I have to explain why through example, then I'm going to be very frustrated. So Ekans is a snake. Can you figure out where its name comes from? We're going to start by lowering its accuracy as much as possible. Yes! Okay, so it uses a bullshit attack called Wrap. And I remember very specifically being in a Home Depot and trying to explain this attack to my dad. It works differently in later generations, but in this generation, it hits you, and you don't get to take your turn. If it's faster, anyway. It hits you for a little damage, and then it, like, holds on to you for a few turns and just attacks you over and over, like that. So that's not a whole lot of damage, although it's still too much. But so if I went fight, it would just go, Ekans' attack continues, and it would just hit me again until it stops, and it'd be very annoying. So you have to wait for it to miss. That's why I use Sand Attack, so we can take our time here. He misses with everything. We throw one of these on there. We'll throw Legos in there for humorous purposes and get him some experience. Her some experience. I'm going to misgender the Pokemon a lot, especially because I'm sorry, I'm going to report the wrong sex of the Pokemon a lot because it's not put on the screen in this game. Let's see how close are we. 93, nearly there. Alright, and we're going to have Lillicina do this. Just because Lillicina's immune to poison and Ekans is rocking Poison Sting as well. But as you can see, this could have gone a lot worse. I lucked out with being able to lead with Homer and get a few sand attacks in. Such a good attack in the early game. Yeah, we can whittle down this snake at our leisure. And Lillicina is very brave. But if we were not prepared, or we were too slow or too weak, this battle could have gone much differently. And as you can see, he gets a hit with the Leer in there, but can't follow up with a good attack. So we'll just keep on chipping away. And we got him. Oh, a death by inches, perhaps. I really like the foghorn-esque sound effect of Leer. And look at that, everybody's growing up. There we go. Good job, kid. I don't believe it. Anything more about shorts? Alright, did I mention boxes? That kid actually gave us some useful information. See, now that's another thing. I can't remember what I've already talked about in the video. So, we have 5 Pokemon on our team right now. If you have 6 and you try to catch another one, it automatically transfers the Pokemon that you just caught to the Pokemon storage system on the PC. Now it's stored in a folder called a box, which can hold 20 Pokemon. And if the box is full, and you're trying to send a Pokemon there, then you're shit out of luck. In other games, this is not the case. It'll automatically open a new box and send the Pokemon there. So, in this game, you gotta keep track of when the box is filling up, which for us won't be for a while because we're not catching that many individual Pokemon. Alright, what is this? Who do we want to fight first? Should we fight the kid? We gotta lead with Legos. I really want Legos to evolve. Are you a trainer? Let's fight! I went to a preschool called Let's Play in Durham, Maine. No, maybe it wasn't in Durham, but I lived in Durham. Anyway, I once got a scolding for jocularly referring to it as Let's Fight. Alright. So we're gonna keep throwing Lillicina at the Weedle. And you can really see how the team is developing already, even though we've got a very simple selection of attacks and not a lot of diversity, but the Pokemon have distinct roles. Like, Lillicina is who we want to counter these Weedle. She's our dedicated counter. And look how she tanks the Poison Stings. Now remember, if you get poisoned, which, oh, what is it, 20% in this game that Poison Sting has a chance? I'll have to annotate that. A chance to poison you. And then you take 1 HP damage every 4 steps, which at lower levels is actually kind of scary. I mean, we have an antidote or two, but still. Alright, so we're going to put up Elegans first. And let me remind you that experience distribution in a battle is evenly divided no matter how much of a role you play in taking down the enemy. So even if all you do is see this screen and you just fly out immediately like this, you're going to get equal experience. So Legos is going to pop in, Cocoon is going to harden, and then Legos is going to pop right back out. And we'll have Vehement do this. Alright. Fling on the quick attack there. Look how little damage we're doing. So, if you remember, the way Cocoon is hardening in there over and over, that brings its defense up by 1 stage, and you can go up to 6 stages. Now I could use Tail Whip and bring it down a stage. And if I do that, then Vehement and Kakuna can use Tail Whip and harden kind of indefinitely. Which would be very silly, and I'm not going to do that. And I really like Kakuna's sprite, because it's kind of a spoiler alert. Like, this Kakuna has some body parts on it that arguably depict it as it's evolving. Nice crit, Legos. I mean, Vehement. Jeez, sorry, the word Legos was on the screen. Hey, but guess what? We're going to see it happen now. Alright, we don't need to coddle Legos anymore. Well, we kind of do, but I'm not going to. We'll just have a straight duel. How about that? So now you can see the big difference between the damage if you have a bug type using a normal attack and you have a normal type using a normal attack. That same type attack bonus is really helpful. And the cheeky crit. That's really cool. And now we have some free experience. Oh, here's what we can do. Here's what we can do. This is going to be really... This is super troll. We'll throw some of these on there. And then... we'll put him back in. And we'll get a little of it back. Woohoo! Alright. One more. Oh, nice. Okay, so I guess it's not going to happen, but what I wanted to do is kind of like slow everything down, and like I could have just sat there and let Vehement and Lillicina get up to full health, basically. Because this Metapod would have just been continually drained by Leech Seed. It's not really that significant, because I can always go back and heal everything anyway, but it would have been amusing to see. Here, so what I would have done is just been like, LOL, and just let it slowly die. And look at that, we're back to full. Actually, you know what? I succeeded. Here, look. We'll put Vehement back in there and get one little more HP, and everybody's back in the green. Damn, here we go. What do you think is gonna emerge from the cocoon? It's a Butterfree. It's so happy. Okay, so Legos has reached peak performance. The special is pretty okay. The speed is good. Attack and defense are not good. And we still only have Tackle and String Shot. So that's really frustrating. And the stats are not that much better than Elegans. So that's kind of upsetting, really. Alright, so this is gonna be a tough battle. And if I fuck it up, then... Wait, is it this guy or is it a different guy? I'm not sure. Alright, we're going to put Homer in front just because what I think is going to happen is going to happen. Hey, you're not wearing shorts. Now let me be clear, I am wearing pants. This isn't that kind of game. Oh, it's Scary Guy. Okay, so I've talked about Spearow a little before. He's stronger than Pidgey, and well, this one is at a much higher level than any of our Pokemon, so this is going to be a big team effort. Spearow does not have Gust. Spearow has Peck, which is flying type, like Gust is supposed to be, which means Butterfree hates it and Elegans hates it. And honestly, look at how much goddamn damage that did. We're actually risking death here, but this is okay. We're gonna hit him. Maybe we can get him with one more. One more? Hey, let's go for all. Oh shit! Oh, that was close. And yeah, if we had gotten critical, we would have said goodbye to Homer. And honestly, that was bad, but I kind of, it's kind of thrilling. So now here's a really risky move. We're gonna put Elegans in there, and look at all of our attacks. Like, what was the point? So if we get hit again, we're dead. But that's okay. Whoa, didn't want to do that. Alright, and now we can put in... We'll put in Vehement. So Spearow's pretty weakened now. But, of course, if it does hit, it's still going to do a lot of damage. So hopefully we'll outrace it. Yeah, even though hitting something with 6 sand attacks is really useful, it does not at all guarantee safety. you could still get destroyed. And even if you used, say, like Growl 6 times or something, you could still get hit by a critical hit. Alright, that wasn't so bad. Good job, everybody. So yeah, that's definitely something I should not have done. Especially since, you know, I could have stopped after like 3 or 4 sand attacks, especially because, I mean, not that I could have known this, but it turned out not to matter. Elegance still got hit by a peck and took 20 damage, and if there had been a crit, and Spearo's crit rate is decent because it's pretty fast, then we would have lost our starter. And this would be a very, very different series. So I'm going to try to minimize doing shit like that in the future. Another thing that I could be doing but I won't is going to the Pokemart and buying a bunch of like potions and stuff, which isn't really that fun. Alright, who's next? We did that dude down there, so now we gotta do this chick. Let's see, who do we want to get going? I mean, I suppose we could still work on Butterfree, because Butterfree can do something a little silly. That look you gave me, it's so intriguing. I kind of don't want to know what that means. Okay, this isn't so bad. Here's an example. So we've got this fully evolved Pokemon. Let's demonstrate its power. Here it comes. And it takes 8 damage from Quick Attack and does that with Tackle. So that's what we stuck around for. Switching into Rattata is really annoying also, because I could easily get critted here and just die. And I hope that doesn't happen. Again, bad moves on my part. Our toughest team member, let's see, 18 and 31, is probably Lillicina. Yeah, no one's beating that. Do I even want to try this? Yeah, we'll have Lillicina do it. So Rattata basically gets to attack us twice, and kind of wasted a big opportunity there. But, let's see, I'm pretty sure that our Rattata is going to be faster. So we're going to get to Quick Attack first. Oh my god, I'm wrong. We're dead. Just kidding. That could have been bad. So you can see how quickly this can turn south if you're trying to avoid any death at all. Okay, Nidoran Male. Nidoran Male is similar to Nidoran Female. Faster and stronger. And has a better attack that it learns at level 8. Jesus! But it's less good at defense. So that crit was kind of unnecessary. But we'll have a battle of the sexes here. And it looks like we're starting off at a disadvantage, but I think we're going to catch up. Oh, maybe not. Oh my god, another crit. That's really bad. The problem here is that if it uses Horn Attack and crits us, we are screwed. So let's put Legos back up there. And let Leech Seed do the work. Taking only 1 HP at a time, though, because this is the weaker version. Hey, we got a lucky crit. Oh my god! Oh, because it used Leer. Well, that sucks. Here, we'll throw Bulbasaur back in there. Just those 2 level 10 Pokemon got us all down to the yellow. And we benefit from a lucky miss there. Well, lucky for us. And so time is a flat circle once again, and the Pokemon that used the Leech Seed in the first place gets to finish off the enemy that it was whittling down. There we go. And we get a couple levels out of it. Oh, so, like I said, we want to get Elegance to level 16, but something happens at level 13 that is moderately exciting. Like, it's kind of good. We're going to actually get our first Grass-type attack. Not like Leech Seed that isn't really like direct damage. We're talking about a real thing. And it sucks. Grass type, in my opinion, is like the indie one of the three of the starters, grass, fire, and water. Fire and water have a long history of positive representation in folklore and in mythology and video games and stuff as being powerful. Like fire obviously burns shit. Water, you command the power of the oceans and specifically take out fire. Plants are just kind of like, eh. And it's interesting how this game plays with that. So Bulbasaur won't be quite very like impressive yet, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. We got time. Should we put Legos in front again? Why not? We might as well get as much Butterfree screen time as possible. You can fight my new Pokemon. Oh good, I wonder what it is. Alright, it's a bug catcher. Level 11 Caterpie. Now that is a crime. That should not be allowed. I just really enjoy Leech Seed, even though it's very weak in this game. Very weak indeed. And the miss with String Shot is very funny. Alright. Vehement's the lowest level, so we're going to get him going. Ouch. But hey, look, we get 2 HP from the Leech Seed. So we're not going to be looking too badly after this. Ow! What a move. That's a slam dunk right there, folks. And then we get Metapod. Okay, so we know what to do. We're going to troll the Metapod. Hit him with the old Parasite. And let's see. Should we let Legos sit in on this at all? Legos learns a somewhat game-changing attack at level 12. So we might as well help her get there and maybe she'll be able to make some kind of contribution. By the way, we're going to be getting, hopefully, unless I totally screw up, we're going to be getting 2 new Pokemon in this episode. So get your nicknaming neurons firing. And we're cheesing this Metapod to get all our health back. Have you noticed that Metapod kind of looks like a crescent moon, and our Metapod, the back sprite, is actually oriented the same way as the Metapod enemy sprite? Like, that Metapod is facing away from us. This is the sort of thing I notice when I'm cheesing with Leech Seed. What do you guys think these Pokemon's personalities are like? Is anything starting to form in your head as I have these experiences with them? Do you have a fan favorite? Is there one that you really don't want to see die? Oh, no level ups? Okay. Done like dinner. Alright. Here we go. I'm gonna lead with Elegance for a very specific reason, because we're about to meet a very hilarious and famous Pokemon. This is another tough trainer who has a single level 14 Pokemon that's going to take a team effort. This Pokemon became one of my favorites in elementary school, which got me made fun of relentlessly. Can you guess who it is? It's owned by a girl. It's Kirby, I mean Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is a fat pink thing. We met one before in the Pokemon Center, and it sang a song, and it put a guy to sleep, and it's going to do the same thing to us. Because it's a normal type, its type matches its basic attack, so it's going to do a little more damage than you would expect by looking at it, but it's not, like, strong or anything. Most importantly, it has a lot of HP, which means that if we go like this, then we're going to get a lot out of it. So, of course, the percentage-wise, it's the same little sliver as always, but it's not 1 HP, it's not 2 HP. Here, we'll hit it with one of these. And Sing, okay, Sing has like a 55% accuracy rate, which is really bad, but then it puts you to sleep. Being put to sleep sucks. You sleep for a few turns, and when you sleep, you can't do anything. In these games, but not in the future, if you wake up, you spend your whole turn waking up. In future games, if you wake up, you can attack right away. So what can happen is, if the enemy is faster than you, if they time it right, usually through luck, if you wake up and they just use the sleep attack again, they just put you to sleep and you do nothing. Sleep is a very common status condition in RPGs, and it's never explained why anything can, like, stay asleep when something's beating the shit out of them. Alright, in competitive battle, like if you're fighting another human and you really want to see who's the best, you're not allowed to put more than one Pokemon to sleep at a time, a rule called Sleep Clause, but that's not the case in-game. And so Jigglypuff could put our entire team to sleep. And was about to go on a little streak there. Here. Why not? Jigglypuff is very slow, but... Alright, now we can finally see the Leech Seed. So 8 damage with Pound, that's pretty good, but we get 3 of it back. There's actually a chance that we will get a Jigglypuff. So the Disable attack also has bad accuracy. What it does is, it picks one of your moves, and then it goes blink, and then you can't use it for a few turns. This is especially bad in the early game when you have Pokemon that only have, like, you might have a Pokemon that only has, like, one attacking move. But, we'll fix it. We can deal with it. And so this went really well. Other than that, our Pokemon are asleep! And look at that! 9 damage with Pound. And then... even that little sliver that it had left represented 3 HP. And I'm pretty sure that's every trainer on Route 3. So here we go. We're approaching the base of the mountain. This is not a trainer. I better take a rest. That tunnel from Cerulean takes a lot out of you. Okay, so from our perspective, it's a tunnel to Cerulean. And they actually render it very strangely on the world map here. So as you can see, the ledges indicate that we're going up in altitude here. So if we look over here, look, you can see the door where we're going to come out. You'd think you could just go swoop, but no. We have to go through this whole dungeon under the mountain. Very scary. And it begs a question of, like, how developed is the civilization in this world? Like, we can get to the moon, but we can't put, like, a safe road through here. It doesn't make any sense. What do you have to say? Ouch, I tripped over a rocky Pokemon, Geodude. Shout out to my dad's favorite Pokemon. But let me clarify. Obviously, we're not in the long grass right now, so there's no Geodude here. But there aren't any Geodude in this grass either. There are Geodude inside the cave, and we do have a chance of getting one. So here we are. This is one of my favorite places in the game since I was a kid. That they put a Pokemon Center here at the base of the mountain. It feels like, you know, you're at like an outpost, like at base camp, and it feels like shit is getting serious. Like all these people are just camping out and like just taking inventory of their resources and preparing for some mountaineering. And it seems really chilled, but also really adventurous. If you have too many Pokemon, you should store them via PC. We are about to have too many Pokemon. We're going to hopefully have 7 by the end of this video. I have 6 Pokeballs set in my belt. At most, you can carry 6 Pokemon. See, this guy got it right in the first time. I kept saying 4 and 5 and shit. And this guy, Team Rocket, attacks Cerulean citizens. Team Rocket is always in the news. Well, what the hell is Team Rocket? Well, we're going to find out. But, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to say anything about them yet. I want you to get your own idea of what Team Rocket might be. Attacking citizens. And then we have this guy. Hello there, have I got a deal for you? I'll let you have a swell Magikarp for just 500 Pokédollars. What do you say? Okay, I really don't want to accidentally buy it. So, I'm only doing this as a favor to you. Yeah, sure thing, dude. This guy is kind of a con man. So a Magikarp is a fish Pokemon that's really, really weak. To the point where, like, it can't even attack. Like, it has an attack that literally does nothing. And then at, like, level 15, it learns Tackle. And then it barely does any damage anyway. But, it has a promising future. And we could get a head start on it now if we bought one here. Pokeballs cost 200 of the game's currency, so we kind of get charged extra for a Pokemon that we could potentially get later, and we could start training it. But let's not do that, because we can get something from down here. Because, of course, we can only catch one Pokemon per area, and we're on Route 3 now. And we don't want Magikarp to be our Route 3 Pokemon. We want it to be something down here. Okay, what I'm going to do is... Alright, I think there are 3 Pokemon that we could potentially get. One of them is a Pidgey, so that doesn't count. I think it's 40% chance for a Spearow and 10% chance for a Jigglypuff. So I'm going to lead with Homer because I want us to be able to Sand Attack it. And if I better not mess this up. Let me just put it that way. Get your nicknaming buzzers ready. That didn't make any sense. Alright. What do you think it is? Doesn't count. Doesn't count at all. We're going to keep walking. Running away, sometimes you fail at it. You usually have a pretty good chance by default, but it's affected by your Pokemon's speed. So if you have a really slow Pokemon, you're not going to... You might not get away. Alright, and it looks like we're going to get a Spearow. So here's my issue. You got to be careful with estimating damage. So, like, here's the question. If Homer attacks Spearow with a 5-level advantage and stab Gust, like, are we going to lose? Like, is it going to kill it? And then we just get screwed? I hope not. So we might as well take our time here. We don't want to use something like Leech Seed because that puts the battle on a timer. That means the Spearow will eventually die. I mean, we don't have enough... We only have 7 Pokeballs, but, like, still. We want to make this relatively... We don't want to complicate it. So, I'm specifically using Lillicina because... Well, actually, should we do... Yeah, we want Lillicina because Lillicina is not weak to Peck and also has one of the weakest attacks that we have. Her Scratch and Tackle. But this is good. We're being precise and surgical. Holy shit. Jesus. Okay, if I hit it with another one, I could crit it and then it dies. So I actually think I should start throwing. Just kidding. YOLO. Oh my god, that was close. I also want to not accidentally run away because that would be really embarrassing. And we're just gonna... Good luck to us. There we go. So now we've got a bird that plays a rather different role than Pidgey. No nickname yet, though. Alright. So, we've got a new team member. If you guys want to see it used, that is. So this is a Spearow. Its main differences from Pidgey are that it has Peck, which is better than Gust. It's just... I mean, they do the same amount of damage, but Peck is flying type, so it kills bugs. And Growl is not as good as Sand Attack, but still maybe has some niche applications. But yeah, good attack, good speed, not really good defenses, but of course it's so low level that its stats are not very pronounced in their differences. So think of a nickname for that, and maybe we'll use Spearow. And I will annotate what sex the Spearow is, if that helps you. And we're going to close out this episode by getting a Pokemon from Mount Moon. It's quite likely that it's going to suck and not play a big role in our game. Because Pokemon Dungeons, they have floors. And you go upstairs and downstairs. And the encounter rate of the Pokemon changes depending on what floor you're on. So if you're on like this first floor and you just walk in, you don't have a really good chance of finding the rare stuff. We're gonna find crap. But that's... I don't know. It's okay. I hope we get something exciting, but I don't think we're going to. The odds do not play in our favor here. But we'll walk over here. TM12. Okay, so TM12 is one of the most unique TMs in a Pokemon game. It contained Water Gun. Water Gun is an extremely weak water attack. It's actually the weakest one. It's as powerful as Gust or Scratch. But it is water type, which means that it kills most notably rock and ground types like Geodude, which we will encounter here. The only Pokemon we have that can learn it right now is Rattata. So let me know if you want to see... Right now, of course, Rattata can't do much damage to rock types, but if it had Water Gun, it'd be able to push through. So let me know if you want to give Vehement Water Gun or save it for something else. Maybe. But let's see what we get in here. Actually, what I want to do is, if I can floor it to the door before I... It's probably a fool's errand. Oh, can I do it? Can I make it? Oh, yes. Okay. So I somehow made it through without an encounter, and now we have a better chance of finding a Pokemon that's a little more interesting, but this could all be for nothing. So I'm just going to hightail it to the next level. Okay, here we go. God damn it. Oh, Zubat. Man, I was actually a little excited. Okay, so Zubat uses an attack called Leech Life, which, as you can see by its similarity in name and animation to Leech Seed, takes your health and gives it to Zubat. It's a very weak attack, but because it's bug type, it does quadruple damage to Elegans, the Bulbasaur. Zubat that are a little higher than this one, I think. I think it's like level 11. Oh god, I'm dying. Has an attack called Supersonic, which confuses you. And confusion is a very, very, very scary status condition where you have a 50% chance of just going through with whatever you're doing, and you have a 50% chance of punching yourself in the face instead of using your turn. Zubat is a bat that has spent so much time in the darkness that it doesn't even have eyes. It will get them eventually, so don't worry about that. Zubat, let's go get it. Let's get out of here. Zubat is one of the most common Pokemon in caves and has been for 20 years, and it's not about to stop anytime soon, and it will bother you over and over and over again. It is relentless. It is so annoying. I could actually be fighting these for experience, actually. That would be useful. Whoops. Here, we can even... Whoops. We can even put Spearow in front. Oh, look at this. So that beginning trip into the dungeon was a fluke. Because as you can see, I'm now getting harassed all the time. Let's see how our new Spearow does. He probably won't take too much damage from this. So you can see how weak Leech Life is. And we can see that Spearow is actually on pace to win this battle handily. Oh, that one did 2 damage. That's interesting. Either way, though, Zubat's only getting 1 HP back. But 1 HP is actually a pretty good percentage of its overall health because Zubat is not very good. And so as we can see, we already have a Pokemon that's only level 6 but is rather capable. Especially if we continue to run into any bugs. So let's see, that was 61 experience points. Whoops. And let's check, yeah, so another one of those and we are almost to a level. But it doesn't look like it's gonna... Oh, it is gonna happen in this episode. Hey, Kay, what do you know? Well, we might as well fight this. If only we had encountered it earlier so I could have caught it. If I had taught Vehement Water Gun, we could kill this in 1 hit. If Elegans was level 13 and had Vine Whip, we could kill it in 1 hit. But we don't have that. So we're just gonna smash through it the way we did against Brock. Although maybe not quite like that. Let's get Rattata in there and see if we can do like 2 damage to it. Oh boy. This might actually take a team effort. I mean, for efficiency, I should probably just run. But I really want the audience to get a sense of what playing the game as a kid when you pay no mind to efficiency is like. And as you can see, Geodude has some attitude. It looks pretty arrogant and is making some sort of very aggressive gesture, even though it's not quite clear what it means. And one of its arms is very noodle-like for some reason. Sometimes you can't really trust what the sprites in this game are telling you. Anyway, we take out the Geodude. And okay. So we're gonna heal up. Now, another thing that is true in this game, but not in future games, is that when a Pokemon is left in the PC, it's just as injured as when you caught it. So, as you can see, Zubat is half dead already. Zubat is also a little similar to Spearow. Fast, frail, not super strong, and all it has is Leech Life. Which, did you see how interesting Zubat's types are? Poison and Flying. To date, Zubat and its evolutionary line are still the only Poison and Flying types, which I think is pretty cool. And has some very interesting interactions. Zubat's potential is quite curtailed in this game compared to future games. It doesn't really learn many good attacks or attacks that match its types, and you'll notice that that'll be true for a lot of Pokemon. It does eventually get pretty good at confusing things, but its overall value may not be that great. However, being a Poison and Flying type, it does give bugs and well, I guess not so much in this game, but it gives grass types a real fit. So, here's our team. Not our official team, but I want to, here we go. We've got our two newcomers here. And think of nicknames for them. And once everybody's named and we have an idea of what we're doing, we'll head out into the dungeon. So, see you next time, everybody. Thanks for watching. Woohoo!